back, everyone. My name is Patrick. You're watching the Oilers Rundown, broadcast on the Oilers Fanatic and the Heavy Hockey Network. The Edmonton Oilers, with 3 games to go on this road trip, taking on the New Jersey Devils tomorrow night, the New York Islanders on Friday, and then the New York Rangers before they head home to play Utah. And we found out today that the Edmonton Oilers will likely play, well, I think it's pretty much a certainty at this point, that the Edmonton Oilers will play the rest of this road trip without Mattias Ekholm. According to head coach Chris Knoblauch, Ekholm was supposed to join the Edmonton Oilers in New York, but apparently he is going to stay home. I believed it was a sickness that was keeping Mattias Ekholm out of the lineup to this point, but apparently he has a minor groin tweak, not an illness right now, that is keeping Mattias Ekholm out of the lineup. The Oilers also without John Klingberg with a minor injury, but John Klingberg is currently with the team, so I believe he remains a possibility to join the lineup here at some point. So that's the latest on Mattias Ekholm. 3 more games here for the Edmonton Oilers without arguably their best defenseman. So it's going to be a bit of a challenge, but thankfully the Oilers, following the trade deadline, do have Jake Wallman there to step up, and he has looked absolutely fantastic since joining the Edmonton Oilers lineup. Some other lineup notes for the Edmonton Oilers. Mattias Janmark was sick, so he did not skate at practice today, but according to head coach Chris Knoblauch, Mattias Janmark is still a possibility for the Edmonton Oilers tomorrow. This is how the lineup looked at practice today for the Oilers. It was a top line of Nuge, McDavid, and Hyman. Jeff Skinner got into the top 6 with Leon Draisaitl and Victor Arvidsson. Vasily Podkolzin, Adam Henrique, and Connor Brown made up the third line. Max Jones, Kasperi Kapanen, and Corey Perry on the fourth line. On defense, Jake Wallman and Evan Bouchard, Darnell Nurse and Troy Stetcher, Brett Kulak and Ty Emberson, and it looks like Stuart Skinner will get the start against the Devils tomorrow night. So as I mentioned earlier, Mattias Janmark wasn't on the ice, but he remains a possibility to join the lineup tomorrow night, so I'm not sure who would come out if Mattias Janmark is good to go, so that may be a game time decision tomorrow. And one other piece of news that I wanted to cover, some news that came out yesterday. Edmonton Oilers prospect Roby Järventie looks like he will be headed back to Finland next season, so not the greatest news here. The Edmonton Oilers flipped their first-round pick, Xavier Bourgault, from a few years back for Roby Järventie last summer, so if Roby Järventie goes back to Finland, the Edmonton Oilers are pretty much left with nothing once again for a first-round draft pick. So the impact of the Edmonton Oilers' former director of amateur scouting, Tyler Wright, really felt here. The Oilers selected Xavier Bourgault that year. We know the Edmonton Oilers could have selected goaltender Jesper Wallstedt. I mean, there was plenty of other better picks, and I think some of us were still excited about Xavier Bourgault at the time, but Jesper Wallstedt would definitely be a welcome addition with the Edmonton Oilers goaltending current position at this point. So this one's a frustrating one to see the Oilers' first-round pick pretty much result in nothing if Roby Järventie is headed back to Finland next year. So in my video yesterday, I talked about the current state of the Edmonton Oilers. We saw a pissed-off Connor McDavid at the end of last game. There's been some talk about the Oilers coaching. There's obviously been a lot of talk about the struggles of Stuart Skinner, Evan Bouchard, go down the list here. This team has a lot to prove going into the Stanley Cup playoffs. They got 3 big games coming up here, like I said, the Devils, Islanders, and Rangers. All 3 definitely winnable games, I believe, for this team. They did not rise to the challenge against the Buffalo Sabres. Yes, they hit 5 goalposts, but more is expected of this team, so I really hope that we do see another level for this team going through the remainder of the road trip. Really happy to see Jeff Skinner up there in the top 6 for the Edmonton Oilers. I just don't understand what Chris Knoblauch has against Jeff Skinner. I know he's not perfect defensively, but he just really seems to help this team every time he is in the lineup, so I hope he can stay there as a fixture. Chris Knoblauch did mention in his availability today that Janmark, Skinner, and Brown were 3 of the highlights for the Edmonton Oilers last game. We'll see what happens there, guys. If you want to talk more Edmonton Oilers on the Heavy Hockey Network, we have Oilers Live going down at 9 p.m. Mountain tonight. I'll have the link up on my YouTube page and social media for you guys to check out. So be sure to join us to talk more Edmonton Oilers at 9 p.m. tonight. But I think that's all I have for now, guys. Like I said, let's hope it's a much better rest of the road trip here for the Edmonton Oilers and they can rise to a level that we all expect them to play at going into the Stanley Cup playoffs. For now, let me know your thoughts on tomorrow's potential lineup against the Devils. Do you think the Oilers get back in the win column? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If this is your first visit to the channel and you like what you see, please consider liking and subscribing for all the latest Oilers content. You've been watching the Oilers Fanatic. Thanks for being a fan.